Hi, everybody. Welcome to Meet the Mailers. I'm Paul Bobnak for Who's Mailing What, and today I'm talking with Rick Elliott, data-driven marketing expert at Taylor. Before we get started, keep in mind that you can join our conversation by commenting in the box below. Show your support by tapping the like button, and to get notified of when we add new videos, click on subscribe. Now let's meet today's guest. Welcome in, Rick. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Awesome. Well, let's get started and talk about your background first, how you got involved with direct mail and what your role involves at Taylor.
Yeah, appreciate that. So I actually got in direct mail from my father. My father had been in direct mail and printing for the greater part of 20 years when I got involved, and now it's been over 30. And at the time, he said, "Hey, I know of someone hiring at a company." At the time, it was Curtis 1000. Now it's Taylor, and it's just customer service. You're straight out of college, maybe something you're interested in, and I got into it. Fast forward 13 years later, who knew that I would be so passionate about direct mail, love direct mail and print in general, and really had worked my way up through the company into management, leading all of our estimating, order processing, customer service teams at one point, and then really get into a more client-facing role where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, just to talk a little bit about Taylor. Taylor is a full print marketing management company, heavy in direct mail. So that's kind of where we stand now.
Mm-hmm. And can you go a little bit more into the different types of services that Taylor offers, and maybe a little more specifically that's for direct mail marketers?
Yeah, absolutely. So Taylor is one of the largest privately held graphic communication companies in North America. We have 80 facilities in the US, about 10,000 employees, and we print about 2 billion mail pieces a year. Our breadth is pretty wide in the direct mail realm. We do pretty much anything and everything related to direct mail. Of course, we have our specialties like everyone, but it's really a core competency of ours.
Mm-hmm. 2 billion pieces, that's impressive. That's really impressive. Now, I was going through a lot of your company profile, and Taylor offers like a really wide variety of direct mail programs. So let's talk about some of them that maybe don't get as much attention. For example, transactional mail. Why is transactional mail still an important vertical for companies?
Yeah, so great question. So we're one of the largest transactional mailers in the US. And for us, we have about 5 facilities around the US strategically placed, all secure facilities for this transactional mail. And just like anything, if you're a financial institution and you need to send out a new credit card, a new debit card, or a financial statement, that's a follow-up direct mail piece. That direct mail was initiated from some action that you took, either becoming a client or something within that company. That mail is important to finish the process or to communicate the next process in your journey of where you're at. And then in addition to that, we've been able to figure out how to add email and SMS to that to continue that conversation as that direct mail piece is coming. So very important core competency, and having secure facilities that can process that PII information is key. And really at bulk to, mailing 2 billion pieces annually, we had to figure out how to do it smart, secure, and fast.
Mm-hmm. And for that audience, it's still important to use direct mail compared to digital communications.
Yeah, digital's very crowded right now. Mm-hmm. That email could get lost, it could go to junk, it could, those any kind of email or digital ads, they really are enhancing the direct mail piece and kind of getting you primed for it or ready for it. But that direct mail piece, we find that people are still scanning your direct mail anywhere from 5 to 7 seconds a piece, depending on what it is. Mm-hmm. So doing digital, although good, it really just enhances direct mail, and direct mail is really the key.
Right. And something else I think too is the idea that for a lot of people, they get spoofed with something that looks like a financial email, and it's not, whereas direct mail maybe has a bigger credibility advantage over these digital channels.
Yeah, absolutely. You just like you described, you can get an email and you just aren't sure, is it from my institution? A lot of them have gotten a lot smarter with how they change where they, the from and so on. Direct mail, you get it. Usually it's invoking you to go directly to the company's website if there's any action to take, and versus, having you click through something or touch something. It still is a very secure way to kind of conduct that transactional secure business.
Right. And I think it's still highly regulated in a lot of instances, correct?
Correct. Highly regulated. Just even getting into some of these facilities that we have, you have to be screened. There's secure areas. Just the handling of that PI information, handling of that direct mail is extremely secure. Especially when we've entered that partnership with a client and passing that information back and forth. So still very secure.
Mm-hmm. Well, another area with big implications for how you target audiences is life cycle marketing. First of all, if you can explain what that is exactly and why it's an important strategy today.
Yeah, absolutely. So lifecycle marketing is really identifying the different phases that someone is in their cycle of becoming a client, being communicated as a client. Are they a prospect? Are you nurturing them? Are they now interested, showing intent? And then ultimately, if they become a client, how are you following up? How are you getting them to tell their story? Did they like the product? Encouraging them to refer you and kind of be that brand ambassador. So really for us, we think about in that kind of front end, that prospecting phase or that education phase, really, making someone aware of the brand, that the brand exists. We use direct mail enhanced with email and digital ads to kind of make them aware. You can't expect someone to immediately reply to that message. It's more brand awareness. And as they go down funnel, and hopefully that next time they think of they need that product, where they start becoming in market, they show that intent. So now they've raised their hand and say, hey, I'm actually interested. I've seen the brand before from some other way you've communicated. And then you start providing that relevant information. Maybe they moved, so you can see that they've moved. Now they're in the intent life cycle. So you're providing that direct mail piece to them saying, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. We know you moved. You may need new furniture, right? If that's what you're trying to sell. So you kind of start getting them through there. And ultimately, maybe they end up on your website, maybe they end up on a competitor's website, but that's a pretty hard intent that says, I'm ready to buy, I'm looking, and you can communicate to them from those actions. And then ultimately they buy, they become a client, and then you can communicate to them, hey, how do you like the product? Please go on Google and share your experience. Give us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends. Come back for more. So, we really use direct mail through that life cycle and enhance it with other channels like email, digital ads, SMS, social. But it's still, direct mail is still the highest converting channel. Everything else just enhances that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's hugely important because regardless of whatever everybody else goes through, everybody has events and things that happen in their life. And you either take notice of them and you're ready for it to meet them on that level, or you're not, and you missed an opportunity to market to them.
Yes, absolutely. Triggered intent data enhances direct mail. We kind of talk about traditional direct mail, and if you're just kind of a spray and pray, you're communicating to everyone. Well, is that person meet your ideal client profile? Are they in market? These are signals that we use to enhance and say, instead of sending, mail out to 1 million people, let's send it out to the 50,000 that look like the individuals that want to buy, and also have that trigger and make them say, that, hey, you're providing something to me that I want. I just moved. I'm going to need new furniture. Well, I can see that, and I can hyper focus that direct mail in and then personalize that direct mail. I know a lot of things about that individual, and I can then communicate to them more in a personal way.
Right. Exactly. There's so much more value with that.
Absolutely.
Right. So how about card programs? Something else I saw on the Taylor website. How can marketers grow audience by recognizing special events and occasions in their audience's lives with direct mail?
Yeah, great question. So, something that I might not have mentioned is Taylor is one of the leading manufacturers in gift and loyalty cards. The amount of volume is incredible that we produce on those. We do highly personalized cards. So we might use your name on the card, which is pretty incredible that we can produce those cards at that level in that personalization. So we call them tip-on cards, where let's say a gas station is opening a new location. They want to get people out there and say, come to the gas station. Of course, they might not be discounting gas. We all hope they would be, but
right.
Especially not now. But what they can do is they can say, hey, come on out and get, a free beverage, a free smoothie, a free icy. And that card, that tip-on card can say Paul's free icy, Rick's free icy, right? And any other information that we want to put. And that card is tangible. You can hold the card, you can touch the card, you put the card in your wallet, you put it in your car. It's still a very viable way to kind of invoke that tangible asset and that action of actually showing up at the gas station. So tip-on cards, any kind of loyalty or referral around a special event is really still striking a note in direct mail.
And along the way, you capture audience information as well.
Yes, absolutely. You can do a lot with cards, and that's definitely one thing that can be done.
Right. Well, related to that, let's talk about some fundamentals here for a second. What kinds of data analytics and processing are needed for today's marketers to be effective?
Yeah, so this is such a great topic. I fully believe in what we were talking about a few questions back is smart direct mail. So you've got to serve direct mail to someone when it's timely, when it's relevant. So we kind of talk about, with our data and our analytics program with clients that are doing direct mail now where, you and I get something in the mail. We're like, why did I get this? I'm not that age group. I'm not in this point of my life. I don't have kids yet. Why am I getting advertised for kids products, right? Yep. So we talk about that and using highly targeted, data-driven mail where maybe we know that you've recently moved, you've recently had a child, you are online looking for camping gear, and I want to provide you, I sell camping tents, and I want to tell you why my tent is special, why you should be aware of my tent, and really I'm looking for that right now. I say, oh wow, look at this, and an offer as a new client to buy the tent. So really this fundamental, when we think of direct mail, before it was, pick an area because someone's in Colorado, they're going to want a tent. Well, that doesn't mean they want a tent. Maybe they live in Colorado and they like the scenery, but they hate camping. Right. So why are you spending money on them? Versus I want to find everyone in the US that loves camping and wants to buy that tent. So we really talk about that data enhancing your direct mail and spending it wisely.
We know that postage and paper costs put pressure on marketers to save money on mail. And that just seems to be something that's going to continue for the foreseeable future. So what are some good ways for marketers to keep costs under control from your point of view?
Yeah, great question. So, catalogs, I'm going to use this, right? You get catalogs in the mail, they're thick, they, they cost a lot to mail, they're not environmental friendly. Where do all these catalogs go when everyone's done looking at them? They go in the trash, right? So, from a company that's sending out catalogs, and right now with paper shortages, with postage going up soon, there was an announcement that postage is going to go up again in July. How do you still invoke the catalog experience where you're giving a spread of all of your products, coming right to your mailbox without sending a catalog? That's hard. Postcard may not be able to convey that. So a smart way to help reduce cost, still be able to get paper for that, is doing a large self mailer. So kind of saying, hey, we still can capture a lot of real estate using a large self mailer that folds down a bunch of times. And then on each page of that, maybe you're putting a QR code that then takes you to the catalog online where you get the full spread of that item. So, we're having those conversations with our clients and even new clients where they're coming to us saying, hey, I've gone to so-and-so to get my catalog, direct mail done quarterly, and they can't get the paper, or it costs too much, or the postage went up. What can I do differently? Can you mail the catalogs? Well, sure, we can do catalogs, but we're also seeing the paper shortage. So let's have this conversation about what does your catalog look like? How can we give you a similar or better product that performs? And then add data and analytics to narrow down who you're getting that catalog to. Maybe that person that you sent it to, it's just not your ideal client anymore. They're not going to buy in the future. Something's changed. So let's not send it to them. So those are conversations that we're having to help look at reducing costs because of paper, because of postage, and do it smarter. Target less, but target them with a laser.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that certainly makes sense. Well, what would you say is the best value proposition for direct mail? Why is it still work so well today?
Yeah, great question. So, we all get a lot of emails. We all are, on the computers in our case, working all day. Not everybody is in front of the computer working all day, but by the time you get home, you're taxed, you're tired. You may browse through your emails. You may look at, some other websites that show digital ads, but that's a lot of clutter on there. There's a lot of people buying for that space and that time versus going to your mailbox, getting your mail, whether it's daily, weekly, or whatever. There's a little bit of a clutter-free zone. Yes, you do get different mail pieces, but compared to how many emails and digital advertisements and other channels you get, you're getting a pretty precise amount in your mailbox. So for the mailbox, people are scanning that mail, they're looking at it. And if you have something unique, something different that you're mailing with, then it really kind of touches someone. I want to show a piece that we've done. So okay. This is a very different mail piece. So can you see it okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
So this mail piece is a high-end suit company that wanted to show up differently in the mail. They wanted to put their fabric in the mail. We have a program that we have pretty much invented that can machine insert this fabric, put it in the piece. You can take it out, you can touch it, feel it, write your messaging on it. So, we really talk about, what are you doing now? How can we get in the mailbox and get opened and so on? So, mail is still the most highly targeted way. Yes, it costs more. So you want to think about what you're putting in the mailbox and who you're getting it to.
Mm-hmm. How are those fabric samples tipped onto the piece?
Yeah, great question. So we have a proprietary method that puts it in a pouch. Okay. And so it allows us to secure it in. If you pull hard enough, you could take these out because maybe you want to take it out, rub it, or maybe this is the one you want. Yeah, here you go. Okay. So we can do, you can see there's 3 in this one. We can do one large piece, 3 smaller ones, different sizes. But this is a proprietary method that we have developed, and then also be able to still pull it out and get a hold of that piece. So pretty unique, pretty different. We have a number of things we do like that get us opened in mailboxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that. I can see anytime you have like a sample that literally gives people a tactile way of interacting with what you're selling, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very different.
So what trends do you see unfolding in direct mail in the marketplace in 2022, going into 2023, in another 7 months or so?
Yeah, so the highly personalized, we've all heard this, but you've got to be personalized, of course, show up different, like the fabric mail that we just showed, and then really who you're going to and when you're going to them. So reaching out to someone that isn't in market and isn't the ideal client, isn't the way, as we've talked about. What's really folding is using the data analytics, the triggered. You've recently moved. How do you become first in mailbox for that? Well, we've developed pre-movers, which allows us to get in mailboxes 3 weeks before all other companies. So that's a unique and different way in where I see something going. In addition to that, it may be that you, Paul, went to a competitor's website of my website, and I want that intent. I want to know you're shopping at a competitor's because I feel that I have a better product. I can convey that to you. And I know if I can put something in your mailbox and enhance it with digital ads and emails and say it's coming, we've got something you want to see, that's really the trend that we're seeing. We have more people raising their hand to talk to us about using data and analytics triggered direct mail, someone landing on their website and then automatically send them a mailer, or someone taking an action, maybe on a blog, or someone that's highly interested in nutrition products. That's really the future of direct mail, is smarter direct mail, kind of direct mail 2.0 almost.
Right. Yeah, I think I agree with that. That's a good place to finish up. How can people find out more about Taylor for a consultation or a possible partnership?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reach out to me, Rick Elliott, rick.elliott@taylor.com. I'm sure Paul will put a link to my email. Of course, visit our Taylor website. Lots of information there. Targeted direct mail, data-driven direct mail, all over my LinkedIn profile, tons of case studies of how we helped clients, and tons of information around how it works, and some of the case studies that could work for you if you're interested.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us today, Rick. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today. And remember that you can join our conversation by commenting below, show your support by tapping the like button, and click on subscribe to be notified of new videos when they're added to our channel. If you are interested in being featured in a future Meet the Mailers, I want to hear from you. My contact info can be found in the paragraph below, simply by tapping Show More. Thanks again for watching Meet the Mailers, and see you next time.